Hello everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Today we're taking a look at Alien Earth, created by Noah Hawley. When a mysterious space vessel crash lands on Earth, a young woman and a ragtag group of tactical soldiers make a fateful discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat. Well, hello everyone. As you know, I was not entirely enthusiastic about this show, especially with the latest shenanigans with getting involved with Alien Romulus, especially when he had his shit fit when Noah Hawley said he was going back to basics, and I was just worried that this was going to get the kibosh before it even began and we're going to get another Prometheus the TV show. Luckily I was wrong. So I was starting to get sort of seeing in the ether good vibes and people really enjoying this, so I thought I'd at least check it out. There's no point making an opinion or refusing to look at something unless I'm prepared to actually have a look first. So I did. These are the first two episodes. The pilot episode, Neverland, I have to admit, I hold my hands up. Brilliant. Absolutely loved it. This is what we were hoping for Alien franchise. This is an example of it expanding beyond fucking Ellen Ripley. And don't forget about my Prometheus band here. So this is 2120. It's set around early 2100s. And we're seeing the world, the corporations, they're all vying for control. This new company started up called Prodigy, which is ran by a fellow called Boy Cavalier. It's interesting because, I don't know, people must be absolutely stupid and forget history. They keep saying he's Elon Musk, but he's actually modelled on early smelly hippie days Steve Jobs. Like, he's running about in the bare feet, he's got the whole dishevelled look. Like, that was Steve Jobs before he got his Apple underway and his PR agents gave him the black t-shirt look. Like, have people really forgotten already, like, history? Fucking idiots, honestly. Like, it's screaming out, it's early hippie days Steve Jobs, and that's fair enough. That's cool and all that, you know. They're not using current day stuff. They're going back and they're looking at prominent figures throughout history, and I'm no fan of Steve Jobs. I thought he was a bit of a knob jockey, but still, I can appreciate what he did. And you can kind of see that the mannerisms that the actor's using, he's sort of taken like the really early time that he was sort of, you know, the absent-minded professor. I don't know. Just here's the thing about this TV show. Marketing team and the people talking about it have done it no favours because they're morons. Anybody that's been talking about this show before it came out, except Noah Hawley. In fairness, Noah Hawley knows exactly what he was very clear about that, but then everybody jumped on the bandwagon and almost ruined this with their talking absolute shite. And I'm a bit annoyed now because even the trailers have not done, like, I'm 2 episodes in and honestly, I was wanting more. I was ready just to carry on, if that makes sense. I legitimately enjoy myself, and I miss that about just entertainment. You know, I know, let's tell a gripping story and let's pace it out really well. So the pilot episode Neverland is the whole setup. It crams a lot in. It introduces us to the universe, the state of play, what Prodigy is about, the secret experiments, the creation of Wendy. I'm obviously going to avoid spoilers because it's just out and don't want to ruin it for you if you're checking this out, but they have the intrigue. We see Weyland-Yutani at its usual shithouse behaviour. You know, it's a scummy company. None of the company good as typical corporations anyway. You're just a number, punch it in. But I think Weyland-Yutani is the worst because they're involved in bioweapons and bioexperimentation, and they really disregard life. They just see life as a commodity. I don't think the full merger's happened yet. So they're talking about Yutani here, so they're still acting as 2 separate entities. So the full merger hasn't happened yet. So that's an interesting thing. You don't need to watch any of the Alien movies to get this. That's the beauty of it. We're not getting any key jangling. We're not getting any member berries. Yes, there is a xenomorph, but it's not the main event. It's basically, let's bring stuff from space back to Earth, which is stupid, you know, anyway. But it's the events to try to contain a bunch of dangerous stuff. It goes wrong, or does it? Has it been intentional? Was there sabotage? We'll get a bit of a hint that other shenanigans are going on, and this is corporate intrigue side, so they can build on that, which is what is really good about the Alien franchise, the thing that they did, and they sort of lost their way after the second movie, basically. But this is a information race. We've got cyborg synths and hybrids, and it's basically whoever creates the best one. It's creating immortality. That's the goal, and everybody comes at it with their own bent, you know, what their plans are. So that all plays out. Once again, the trailer doesn't do it any justice. The actual crashing of the research festival is in a populated area in a tower block. So it looked as if it was going to be on an island and silly stuff like that. But no, this is right in the middle of civilization. It's a proper disaster. It looks as if the tower's, going to collapse at any moment because huge spaceships just crashed in the middle of a city. We have the response team, acting as if it's normal. We've got the normal response teams, and then we've got the corporations racing to. It's in Prodigy territory, so there's no countries anymore. They're corporations, rule areas. It's there, so they're trying to salvage what they can before Yutani gets involved and sends their team. And there's almost like corporate warfare. So you've got black ops operations and all that kind of stuff. So you've got missions within missions. But it's done really well that we get normal life. We get the standard protocol, the giant spaceship crashing into a city. All that comes with it. And then we'll have the shenanigans going on. What to do with Wendy's character and the other hybrids, because she's not the only one, thankfully, because I thought this was going to be super special girl, girl boss, but it's not. Her character is actually really well done, and the other ones as well. I'm not going to go too much into it for spoilers purposes, but they're done really well, and it makes sense in the sense of what happened, what the procedure is. I'll let you make of that what you will. It fits. It's logical. I'm just surprised. I'm genuinely surprised that they've actually put a bit of thought into this and what would actually happen. We also have the ships damaged. The experiments are, obviously some of them have escaped their cages or whatever. But we've got this taking place not just in the ship but in the building, because it's crashed in the building. There's tears and rips in the spaceship. So they've made really good use of the space and allowed it to breathe rather than just being another alien Romulus, for example. So that's really good. They've done that, so that we've got a bit of context, and it's a search and rescue mission. Then main team. And then we'll have Wendy getting sent in to try and recover the experiments for Prodigy. What hasn't happened yet, but we've got Will and Yutani then rushing to try and retrieve their stuff before it gets co-opted, and that's all happening. Plus we'll have the normal emergency response. To think of a plane crash, what I mean? It's the same sort of thing. You've got the normal response to like a plane crash going on as well. So there's plenty happening here, and they've balanced it really well. So we're focusing on the action in the ship. It's happening, and we're seeing the stuff outside, and then we're cutting back to Cavalier and what he's up to. And like I said, it's just the pacing of it. That's the thing I'll have to say. The pacing is fantastic. So yeah, the first episode, great. Does exactly what you needed to. Set you up, you know exactly what's going on. Not everything, but enough that you're grounded in the universe. No mention of the other guff, so you don't need to worry about the Alien franchise. If that makes sense, the movies, don't need to watch them. You can take this as its own thing. If it stays like that, fantastic. Second episode then is just a normal length episode. Obviously the first one was longer because it was a pilot. And I really felt like it got to the end and I'm like, oh, right, is that it? Haven't felt like that in ages with a TV show or anything. We're understanding what Cavalier's motivation is, and actually it makes sense. He's suffering from the loneliness of genius, and he's busy trying to create the next level of humanity or expand humanity. He wants someone to relate to, and that's it, just people. He's got that disconnect that he can't just converse at his level with others and that kind of thing. The guy that's playing him's done really well. I like the way he's not going over the top. It sort of makes sense for his character. It looks like he's taking risks and all, but he hasn't got where he has without doing that. He kind of has a bit of insight where others don't. And it's got this chaotic, like I said, just individual. And I like the way the guy playing Cavalier plays it off the wall enough that you see it, but he also restrains himself, that you understand why he's in charge of Prodigy and why he's able to bring this stuff together. That's hard. That's hard to do. How many times have we seen it now where you got the super genius CEO types and they're too off the wall or they're too straight. We also see Wendy slowly has developed a couple of things. She seems to have an insight into technology that they hadn't planned for. And we're seeing her going against the system, which is not completely obvious. We're seeing the shenanigans, like Morrow's another character. He's a cyborg for Will Yutani. He's trying to basically carry out his mission. We're seeing how the team is going. I'm trying to avoid a lot of stuff here. Like I said, the core of the stories are, and I want you to enjoy it. There is a xenomorph, and it's just doing proper things. You actually get the scale of... They do a lot of off-camera shots, and it's practical as well. But you get the speed and the scale of what one xenomorph can do to people. That hasn't really been done. Apart from Aliens, you get the sense of this is something dangerous. It's something that you're not going to survive, an encounter with. And that's it. I don't want to talk too much about episode 2 either, if that makes sense, because I don't want to spoil it. But I can see them doing a season of this, if that makes sense. So what's it going to be, 6 or 8 episodes on this event? How they're pacing everything, I can see like real time, like them traveling, Wendy and the team traveling to the site. They don't just arrive 2 minutes later. It's a long plane journey. So we're actually getting that scale of time. He's done that really well. Like I said, that's a massive thing about this, is the pacing. I can see them doing this, keeping it tight. If they've done this for the whole season, then yeah, we're in for a good time. My concern is obviously that Hulu now no longer exists. This is like the last show they've produced, and it's all going to Disney. So if they do a season 2 of this, I can see it getting Disneyfied and just dumbed down and turned into slop that they produce. Oh, another thing to take note of is, because this is FX, originally produced it for Hulu, they are involved with Weta Studios. So Weta Studios are providing effects, hence why everything looks the way it does. You've got the mix of practical and CGI. A couple of CGI shots make you go, but it's only one or two. Everything else in this looks absolutely beautiful. And you really get the old-timey feel of the original Alien. The mother chamber, the ship. It's not Prometheus, shiny CGI stuff. They've really grounded it. And the fact that it's done on Earth, which I was worried about, being, the cliche, but it's worked. Yeah, this could be a good show. I don't know if they're going to start leaning into the movies. I hope not. I hope they just keep this as its own thing and let this storyline play out, because it's interesting. And I think Noah Hawley has a clear vision, and I think Dickhead here was thrown a bone with Romulus, so he got to interfere in it, and they've kept him away from this. So if they've done that, we're in for a good time. If any sort of, and I believe it's filmed, so they can't arse about with it. It's all been shot. It's complete. So we're just getting to see these. It's not going to change. They're not still filming. They're not going to get feedback, or nobody's going to jump in. So I think we're going to get the full story. My concern is moving forward, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But in the meantime, check us out. I'm glad I was wrong. I'm glad that my fears didn't pan out. I've actually got an exciting TV show based in the Alien universe, and not just revolving around the same 3 characters and LV-462 and all that shit, all over again. That's been done. We're definitely getting something new. So I'll crack on, and I'll cover these I'll do 2 episodes at a time. And I'll cover them when they come out. We'll see. Or maybe do each episode after this. Actually, let me know what you think. Do you want me to just do, as each episode comes out, do a review? Or do you want me to wait for 2? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, keep up to date with the channel. Do the type of kicky thing. And remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.